In the glittering world of old Hollywood, fame could make a person immortal, but death, it seems, was the one stage they couldn't control. Yet, for some of the Golden Age's brightest stars, their final acts were every bit as dramatic as the lives they led. From secret burials and coded tombstones to strange rituals and haunting last requests, these celebrities ensured that even in death, they would leave an unforgettable story behind. Today, we're unearthing 17 Golden Age stars with the strangest final burial wishes, and number 12 was so shocking, the family tried to hide it forever. That if this kind of story touches your heart, if you're someone who cares about truth, responsibility, and speaking up for the voiceless, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who should hear it. Let's get started. Number 1. Humphrey Bogart, the chess master's final move. Humphrey Bogart, the hard-boiled detective of Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon, wasn't just a Hollywood legend. He was also a passionate chess player. His obsession with the game was so deep that, in his final will, he requested a small hand-carved chess set be buried with him. But that wasn't all. Tucked into his will was a curious inscription. When the last pawn falls, the game begins anew. 5 years after his death, the crypt's caretaker discovered a folded chess diagram hidden in Bogart's casket lining, a puzzle left unsolved to this day. Fans call it Bogart's final game. Number 2. Joan Crawford, A Will to Wound. Joan Crawford, famed for her fierce roles and fiercer temperament, even used her will to stage one final act of revenge. While most stars left fortunes to family or charities, Crawford deliberately cut 2 of her adopted children, Christina and Christopher, out of her will, adding a cold line that would shock Hollywood. "It is my intention to make no provision for them, for reasons well known to them." That single sentence immortalized Crawford's controlling nature and helped inspire Christina's explosive memoir Mommy Dearest. In death, Joan managed to preserve her reputation for ruthless precision, one last, chilling performance. Number 3. Charlie Chaplin, the comedian who couldn't rest. Charlie Chaplin's genius made the world laugh, but his death was anything but funny. After his 1977 burial in Switzerland, grave robbers stole Chaplin's coffin and held it for ransom, demanding $600,000 from his widow, Una. In a strange twist, Chaplin had actually anticipated something like this. His will included an obscure clause directing his estate to protect his remains from disturbance or theft. The robbers were caught 11 weeks later, and Chaplin's body was reburied under 6 feet of reinforced concrete, fulfilling his wish to rest in peace, this time for good. Number 4. Marilyn Monroe, the Eternal Rose. The world adored Marilyn Monroe, but few knew that her final wish was for eternal love. In her will, she named her ex-husband, baseball legend Joe DiMaggio, as the person responsible for her funeral arrangements. After her death in 1962, DiMaggio kept a promise he had made in private. For 20 years, fresh red roses were to be placed at Marilyn's crypt 3 times a week. He never remarried. This day, visitors to Westwood Memorial Park still leave roses, honoring a romance that refused to die, even when she did. Number 5. Jean Harlow, the starlet who wanted to vanish. Jean Harlow, Hollywood's original blonde bombshell, died young at just 26. Her beauty and scandalous fame made her one of the most photographed women of her time. But in her will, she made a haunting request. "All personal diaries, letters, and private photographs are to be destroyed upon my death." Her mother complied, burning hundreds of pages of Harlow's private writings. Only fragments survived, leaving fans to wonder what secrets the doomed starlet wanted to take with her. Number 6. Mae West, the $1 Million Joke. Mae West lived life on her own terms, bold, body, and brilliant. But in death, she wanted one last laugh. Her will revealed a $10,000 fund set aside to maintain the upkeep of the light bulbs in the W of the Hollywood sign. It was classic Mae, part vanity, part wit. She wrote, "A dame should always be seen in lights, even from heaven." Number 7. Clark Gable and Carole Lombard. A love that transcended the grave. Their romance was one of Hollywood's greatest love stories. When Carole Lombard died Tragically, in a plane crash in 1942, Clark Gable was shattered. He visited her grave weekly and kept her photograph by his bedside until his own death in 1960. In his will, Gable requested to be buried beside Lombard at Forest Lawn Cemetery. The two now rest together, side by side, a reunion decades in the making, but Lombard's own will contain something just as poignant. She instructed that a packet of poems she wrote for Gable be opened only after his death. Those letters, found in 1960, ended with a final line. "If you're reading this, darling, we've found our forever." Number 8, Errol Flynn, The Pirate's Last Voyage. Errol Flynn lived fast, drank hard, and chased danger on screen and off. His final wish was, fittingly, for adventure even in death. Flynn requested to be buried with a small chest of gold coins and maps, claiming they were from a real Caribbean treasure hunt he'd once embarked on. His friends dismissed it as one of his wild tales, until decades later a similar chest was found in his former Jamaican estate. Was Flynn a pirate after all? We may never know, but he certainly ensured his legend would live beyond the grave. Number 9, Katharine Hepburn, Simplicity Amid Stardom. Known for her independence and grace, Katharine Hepburn's final wish reflected her lifelong distaste for Hollywood excess. She declined a grand burial, requesting her ashes be scattered quietly over Long Island Sound, near the home where she spent her childhood. Her will also included a handwritten note. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that the show doesn't always need an audience. Number 10, James Stewart, The Faithful Goodbye. James Stewart's career spanned 5 decades, but his heart belonged to one woman, his wife, Gloria. When she died in 1994, Stewart was inconsolable. His will requested that his ashes be interred beside hers, with a bronze plaque that reads simply, "I'll be right back, sweetheart." He passed away 3 years later, and true to his word, their ashes rest together at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, a Hollywood love story that refused to fade. Number 11, Bette Davis, The Final Stage Direction. Bette Davis was as commanding in death as she was in life. Her will left specific instructions for her tombstone. It was to bear one short phrase. She did it the hard way. No one summed up Davis's relentless career better. Fierce, demanding, and tireless. Her epitaph became one of Hollywood's most famous parting lines. Number 12, Rudolph Valentino, The Sealed Secret. Rudolph Valentino, the original Latin lover, died at just 31. His will contained a cryptic clause that stunned everyone. A ring, inscribed only with the initials SP, was to be sent to an unnamed woman in Madrid. No one knew who she was. The package was delivered, but the identity of SP remained a mystery, until decades later, when a Spanish actress named Sofia Padilla claimed that her grandmother received the ring, vowing to keep the secret until her own death. Even in death, Valentino kept his legend alive, part romance, part riddle. Number 13, Greta Garbo, The Woman Who Vanished Twice. Greta Garbo's will was as enigmatic as her life. The reclusive star, who once declared, "I want to be alone," ensured she would be. She requested that her ashes be scattered in total secrecy, with no memorial, no gravestone, and no ceremony. For decades, her final resting place was a mystery, until it was revealed she was quietly interred in Stockholm, near her childhood home, fulfilling her wish for anonymity. Number 14, Cary Grant, The Gentleman's Last Investment. Ever the businessman, Cary Grant approached death with the same calm precision he brought to his career. His will established a trust fund for underprivileged British actors, calling it his final role in supporting the show. But he added one curious stipulation. No actor benefiting from a fund could appear in films promoting violence or vulgarity. Even from beyond the grave, Grant was directing Hollywood toward higher standards. Number 15, Marlene Dietrich, Glamour Until the End. Marlene Dietrich's will was pure theatrical flair. She requested to be buried in full evening attire, gown, gloves, heels, and her signature red lipstick. When she died in 1992, her daughter honored the request. Dietrich was laid to rest, looking as though she were stepping onto a stage, not into eternity. Her epitaph reads, "Here she stands again." Number 16. Bela Lugosi, Dracula's eternal costume. Bela Lugosi terrified audiences as Dracula and insisted on being buried in his Dracula cape. When he died in 1956, his family honored the wish, dressing him in the full vampire costume for his open casket service. The legend of Dracula, it seems, was never just a role, it was Bela's eternal identity. Number 17. Judy Garland, A Rainbow, Revisited. For decades, Judy Garland's fans believed she rested in New York. But in 2017, her remains were moved, at the request of her children, to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles. It fulfilled what Garland had once told a friend. "Someday, I'd like to come home to where the rainbows start." Her crypt now bears those words. Her final wish, finally realized. From grand romantic gestures to strange puzzles, these stars turned their final acts into a continuation of their legend. Even in death, they choreographed their stories, defiant, mysterious, and unforgettable. Their wills weren't just legal documents, they were final scripts, written, directed, and performed by the stars themselves. And if old Hollywood teaches us anything, it's that some performances truly never end.